What is going on, guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. So yesterday, I made the video where I asked you guys for help, to give me ideas and what else I can do. And not only am I going to start playing more games, in fact, later today, I'm going to start a series. I'm going to start playing the Knights of the Old Republic game over. I'm going to walk through it with you guys, have a great time. That's going to be a separate playlist. Today, I'm answering a question that one of my viewers asked me yesterday. They said, hey, you know what? A lot of us are mid-game players, early to mid-game. Take the Titans team, for example, and give us some alternatives. Okay, for those of you that don't know what the Titans team is, it consists of Commander Luke Skywalker, Grand Admiral Thrawn, R2-D2, Raid Han, and General Kenobi. It can still get to the top of Arena, but it's not the best anymore. You have the Emperor Palpatine Zeta teams and the Jedi Training Raid teams, but it's still a very viable team. So I'm going to show you what characters you can use to replace each of those characters early game. Now, there'll be a few alternatives for certain ones, but this is what I feel works best. So we're going to start with replacing General Kenobi. This one's actually one of the easier ones to replace, because I'm going to scroll down, and it's actually going to be he himself, in the sense that Old Ben Kenobi is a tank that you can get pretty darn early, and he is very good. Now, he does not auto-taunt, which means that when somebody gets hit, he will not taunt automatically. He has to use his taunt with an ability. But you can find him in 2F and 6B, and that's early game, man. Go after this character. His abilities are great, and he does something different, which I like. Is he has an off, I like to call it a debuff that he can spread to the whole team. And it says, inflict ability block on all enemies for 1 turn and offense down for 2 turns with an 80% chance to remove 60% turn meter. Jedi and Rebel allies gain 3% turn meter for each effect resisted. This attack can't be evaded. This is a very good attack. This is something that General Kenobi does not have. He cleanses for the rest of his team, but he's not debuffed the other team. And you could Zeta his Devoted Protector, where if somebody tries to get rid of his first taunt, he'll keep the second. Early game, that's probably not very feasible. But then we're going to look at this. If you strike me down, I'm just going to go to the non-Zeta. Whenever another Jedi or Rebel ally takes damage, Old Ben gains 3% turn meter. The first time Old Ben is defeated, all allies gain offense up and speed up for 2 turns and recover 30% health and 30% protection. So if you know who BB-8 is and he can give his Illuminated Destiny, this is a mini Illuminated Destiny. When Old Ben, and usually if he's taunting, he's the first one to go anyway, so that gives the rest of your team a bunch of bonuses and buffs. Old Ben is a great replacement for General Kenobi. That is the guy. Now, next we're going to look at Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, what does Thrawn do in the game? Yes, he individually cleanses, but he helps slow the other team down. He fractures them and takes away turns. Now, yes, the stun ability can do that, but I'm going to replace Grand Admiral Thrawn with somebody that can also help slow the other team down, and that is Boba Fett. And some of you going, well, no, he doesn't. Here's what I mean. His Death from Above, if you can get this off, gives ability block to the 80% chance to inflict ability block on the whole team, and a 50% or a 100% chance to inflict ability block on the target you actually selected, and then give some damage over time. This prevents the other team from using special abilities. That hinders them some sort. Also, he has his Execute, where if somebody has a lot of buffs or cooldown -1 or boost all cooldowns by 1, and on a finishing blow can't be evaded. It says deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all status effects on them. Deal 30% more damage for each effect dispelled. So this is not just debuffs or not just buffs. It's all of them combined. So if they have a lot of buffs and debuffs, there could be a wipeout. And then they can't, let's say that it's somebody that can revive, like with a Jin or so lead. They can't be brought back to life with this when they're killed with the Omega of this ability, Execute, and it can do some really good damage. And not only that, when he dies once, he can come back to life, and then if he gets a kill after he comes back to life, he gains the Bounty Hunter's Resolve again, which gives him the ability to revive once more. So he's trickier to kill. He's a decent character, and I actually think he is the replacement for Grand Admiral Thrawn in this team. I have him and R2-D2's replacements could probably be interchangeable for the characters they go in for. But also, his leadership ability actually isn't a bad leadership ability. All allies gain 50% critical damage and 10% critical chance. Then bounty hunters gain 15 speed for each debuffed enemy. But not a lot of the people are going to be running other bounty hunters. in this. So that's why I'm suggesting Boba Fett. So far we have Old Ben and we have Boba Fett. Now, for R2-D2, what does R2-D2 do? He gives your team, your own team, some of his abilities with the Zeta of his abilities. You know, they can gain some of his protection, health. They can also cleanse on a critical hit with one of the Zetas. But I'm going to go a different route here. This is a character that is a support character that helps you control the battle more than absolutely wipe out enemies. And the character that I think you should use to replace that, and this character is actually pretty easy to get to. Let me find him here. B2 Super Battle Droid. Now, you can find him in the... I'm just going to promote him, I guess. You can find him in the Cantina 6D and sometimes in the Guild Store. And he is a very unique character in this sense. We're going to read about Mowdown. Not heavy arm. Mowdown. It says that deal physical damage to all enemies and dispel all positive status effects on them. He dispels the whole team with a 65% chance to inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. Apply before the damage. But what that means is they have a chance to, he's gonna dispel, and dispelling is huge. But he also could prevent them from gaining buffs until they're cleansed or it wears off. That's a great ability. Then you have his heavy arms, which states deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict evasion down for 2 turns. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but the evasion down can be useful. And then the relentless barrage. B2 has a 40% chance to gain 100% turn meter whenever another ally is evaded or damaged by an attack. So he can relentlessly keep going if he keeps getting the turn meter gain from enemies being attacked and stuff like that. But his ability to dispel and help control the other side of the battlefield is unparalleled. It's a mass dispel, and it can inflict buff immunity. It's actually one of the best abilities in the game. It's just used on a character that still isn't quite up to par with the current meta, but he is definitely deserved as an early or mid-game player. Next, we're going to look at Raid-Han. Now, Raid-Han is the damage dealer of the team. He can always shoot first. There's not another character that has that ability, and he can stun potentially, but man, I have a character that hits pretty close to just as hard, and you guys know this is one of my all-time favorite characters, Ezra Bridger, the man. He can hit like a truck. It's unbelievable, and you can find him in 2B, so that's early. You can find him in Kenobi pretty early in the Cantina Energy, and he is a viable late-game player still. He can do physical damage to target enemy with a 40% chance to attack again. If he isn't buffed, he can attack 80% chance to attack again, so that's 2 attacks potentially. The Flourish is another dispel. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. If the enemy had no buffs, this attack's cooldown is reduced by 1, and Ezra gains 75% turn meter instead. So he's regaining his ability to gain turn meter and to go again. And then we have the Watch and Learn. When he uses this with another character, target ally attacks and then deal Ezra assist, dealing 20% more damage. Both attackers gain bonus effects based on the chosen ally's roll. Attacker 100% crit for this attack, tank protection up, and support 40% turn meter gain. So hey, if you need to give potentially B2 some support, you know, you want him to get his turn meter gain to potentially get a dispel off, go ahead. And then we accidentally clicked on Boba Fett there. And then the last character, the leadership character, the character I would replace for CLS. CLS is unique. He is very, very hard to replace. And the honorable mentions in this are going to be Wedge and Biggs because they're great big-time damage dealers and they're good for ships well. But I'm talking about a dominant arena team. And yes, Wedge and Biggs can do pretty well. But a team that can help you to get even potentially the top 100. And to get there, that means there's one character you need to put in leadership. And that is Rex. I talk about him a lot, and he's still in some top arena teams. Let me explain why. The team that I just showed you, the synergy that they have between characters, is I don't have... You know, I have Ezra and Old Ben are rebel characters. B2 and B2 is a droid. Boba Fett's a scoundrel bounty hunter. You know, they're not all part of the same. Rex's leadership ability gives the ability to forget about that. Clone allies gain 20% max health, and other allies gain half that amount. In addition, whenever an ally suffers a critical hit, all clone allies gain 50% turn meter, and other allies gain half that amount. So you're not gonna have another clone ally. So he's gonna help the team gain 7.5% turn meter whenever they're critical hit. That adds up big time. And then he has a dispel, which is crucial for those arena teams. His squad discipline dispel all negative stat effects on all allies and grant them tenacity up. Tenacity up allows them to protect themselves against debuffs for the next few turns. Clone allies gain 6% turn meter plus an additional 10% turn meter for each effect dispelled this way, and other allies gain half that amount. So, if there's a lot of debuffs on the field that you have, and you dispel them with this, you're going to be giving more turn meter to the team. It's a turn meter manipulation mechanic that is awesome to help you win the battle. He does not do the most damage there. His subdue, some bonus damage equal to 25% of that. I mean, it's not going to wipe anybody out. This might remove some turn meter, and you need to bot him for health because he needs to survive. Now, I know I'm reading all over the things, and you probably know what they are, but I'm just going to explain. I want to read them to explain why you should fit them into the play. So if you have a team that you want to run that I would say that, is non-meta but has the great replacement characters for that, Rex is the leadership, man. Ezra is the Raidhan aspect, the attacker. B2 is the R2, I mean, in a different type of way, but he works that way. Boba Fett is the Grand Admiral Thrawn, and Old Ben is the tank for General Kenobi. That is a solid team. Now, I'm not saying that you have to run that team exactly. The fun about this game is finding other characters that mesh well with that group of people and playing them. Maybe you don't want to play B2 Super Battle Droid. Maybe you want to put Anakin Skywalker in. Maybe you want to put another tank in. Maybe you want to put Barriss or Biggs or Princess Leia. Or even Chirrut, another cleanser. That's what's great, is it's diverse and you can change that up. But for a considerable good replacement for each Titans character, those are the guys. There's the Emperor Palpatine. Actually, if you have Emperor Palpatine, you should start leveling them up, because when you're able to get the characters that work with his squad, that's going to help you in the arena as well. Jedi Training Rey is unique, and there are some characters the same, but I want to right now, in the early to mid-game players, these are the most accessible characters for somebody that wants to have a successful team, because the Titans team ruled the arena for quite a long time, and it can still rule in certain aspects. So I'm telling you, use that team: Rex, Ezra, B2, Boba, Old Ben, and let me know what else you guys want to see. Can't wait to keep growing. Make sure you share this video. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Click the notification so you can get an alert on every video that I post. I'm also going to put these in playlists, because I'm going to start doing other games and other videos. And for those of you that just like the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes videos, I don't want you to get turned off by anything else. So you're going to be able to just watch these videos in the SWGOH playlist. Otherwise, guys, peace out, and may the Force be with you.